Hey guys, it's AliciaBrownSugar in the game Draw Something 2. I'm going to do a video replay of me, AliciaBrownSugar, drawing Alyssa Milano. AKA Phoebe Hollowell from Charmed. So yeah, I didn't know I was going to actually be drawing this. At the time, I was just doing some stuff. So don't mind the beginning. I really love that show. Alright, so I did a blue background and I used the pencil tool to draw her, the outline of her and everything, because it's so much easier to draw someone when you actually have their face shape and everything. Once you get their face shape, it's so much easier to actually do something with the people. And her hair made it so much easier to be recognizable as Phoebe Hollowell, because that's like one of her signature hairstyles. This was probably one of the first drawings I did that actually looked realistic. So obviously this one's not perfect. But it still looks pretty realistic. So I was working with some new techniques that I had learned from watching other people drawing in this app. This was my first time working with that technique itself. But right now I'm using the watercolor to basically color in her hair. I'm using it on like the second or third biggest brush size. And here you see I'm trying to get the shape of her face right. And I'm doing her neck in a different color from her face, just so you could see the difference. Now I'm going over the hair again to get some more strokes, using the pencil at the moment. Just to get some strands of hair. And now I'm using the watercolor black and brown to do more strands of her hair. Since that part of it is darker, I used a thicker brush, but then I went back to a thinner brush size to continue doing her hair strands. As you can see, I'm making it darker and darker to try to match her hair color. And then I have the shine by using a lighter watercolor brush color, and then I shade over it a little bit to make it not such a significant change. I'm still working on the hair, giving her some shine. It helps to have all of the colors that you're going to use in your palette, either watercolor or the pencil, whichever one you're using at the moment, because it helps you a lot. Right now I'm using the brown watercolor, and then I shaped her eyes, and I stuck with the watercolor for the rest of this because it's a lot easier to do things with watercolor. I used a reference picture on my computer while I was drawing on my tablet. And see how I'm doing her eyebrows with the watercolor. And I just change the size and then do a whole bunch of dots in it to make the black part of her eye. You see I'm doing her eyelashes also with the watercolor. And I also did her, the little sparkles in her eyes with the white watercolor. Now I'm just fixing some things before I go to her mouth. Just because I wasn't quite good with the shape of her face, so I had to fix it up a little bit more, and then I'm using watercolor to fix what I just added. In the app I could only actually see like up to here, so you have some rough edges over there, but I couldn't actually see that in the app. Under her chin, I'm doing some darker shading. It gives you sort of 3D effect, like her face is coming out to you further from her neck. Shading helps a lot with that. Now I'm doing her lips again with watercolor. I kept all of the colors that I was going to use in my palette so that I wouldn't choose one that was different from what I had been using before. Now I'm doing backgrounds over here. You can see I'm just making it look like some light is shining behind her. And I did a little charm symbol right over here, just for fun. That was basically what I had done for Phoebe. And now I'm basically adding some extra things and extra shadings to her. Like around her mouth, I added a little white using the watercolor brush, the thinnest brush part on it. And using that same watercolor, using the thinnest brush size, you can see I did the shine on her lips, on her bottom lip. It helps using white watercolor to do shine, or even like just a lighter color of whatever color it is that you're using. Right now I'm using tan, so the lighter color tan on her face to do shading, to make it look like her face is shiny. If you use a reference picture, you can actually just look at it and then see where everything is supposed to go, all the shine. But if not, you have to identify where your light source is coming from. For Phoebe, it's coming from in front of her, not really to one specific side. Because you see the light is hitting both sides like pretty much evenly. And for the nose, you can do shadows to actually make the lines in the nose. You don't actually have to draw the nose itself. By using the watercolor to do some shading, it actually draws the nose for you by doing that right here. That little shading that I did there, that helps make it look kind of 3D. It looks like this is about as far as I had gotten in this drawing with her. So that is the video replay of me, AliciaBrownSugar, drawing Phoebe. That was back before we got unlimited ink in anything other than the daily draw. So I drew her on Independence Day instead of Independence. And she was kind of independent. Before the video started, the TV series said that she moved to New York by herself, so. If you like that, you could follow me on this app, Draw Something Too, or you could check them out on Instagram if you don't have Draw Something Too. You could see my pictures of the drawings that I did in this app and other things. I hope this was helpful. I'm AliciaBrownSugar and Draw Something Too.